Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Ben from Universal Audio. Welcome to a very special episode of Tales from the Switch. It's special because we are this close to being finished with the song. You guys have gotten to see every part of this process happening. And of course, we've been doing this all remotely. And that remains true today because today we're going to be looking at a string and horn arrangement with Oliver from Spitfire and showing you guys kind of the real-time process of what it takes to work with an arranger from the producer and artist point of view, as well as showing you guys tons of tips about doing string and horn arrangements inside of Luna using the incredible Spitfire LUNA Instruments. So to help me pull all this off today and provide some amazing musical talent, we brought along Oliver, Fab, and Lewis. How you guys doing?
Yo.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How's everybody's? Oliver, you're. It's no longer morning for you. We're solidly in nighttime where you're at. Where you calling in from?
It's late in Spain. They call it late afternoon. It's 7 p.m.
Nice.
at the moment.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you're still another 4 or 5 hours from dinner, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Before 10, 11, there's no
food to be had. Yeah.
No,
That's awesome. I love it there. So Ben, I just wanted to correct you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as finishing a song. You should know this.
True.
You never finish a song. You just abandon it with either A, you die,
Mm-hmm.
B, somebody screams at you for delivering it, or you no longer can tell if the song is good or not and just move on to another song. Those are the only three ways to move on.
Correct.
Me, I get screamed at a lot.
That was right. Yeah, you're in this.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you want me to scream at you that we need to be finished with the song.
It's so not gonna happen. But yeah, we're making progress. So there's progress, slow and steady.
Mm-hmm.
Where we left off 3 weeks ago or something like that.
4 weeks ago, 5 weeks. Yeah, it was a while. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Yeah, there's been some things in the meantime. You know, the ATR was released and all stuff like that. So
Yep.
Lewis and myself, we're pretty happy with the track, and we were about to mix it when somebody on this call came up with the idea of adding horns and strings on it. I was like, oh, great. Especially since the Spitfire instruments are there. And I was like, oh, this is great. Good idea. And so this is where Oliver came in. And so I sent Oliver the last session, like the full session. And because the Luna file system is encapsulated in one file, I just Dropboxed him one big file and he opened it.
Yeah.
And that's very nice. And then he went to town on it. And then it was summer and he's in Europe, so they have this vacation thing. It's amazing. It's a concept that we are trying to import here. It's crazy. I hope it passes Congress. So he worked on it remotely with basically no direction from us. The only direction from us was we like, late 70s Philly stuff,
Yeah.
which is a particular style of arrangement. But we were not even like pushing it very hard. We're just
kind of leaving it open, just kind of throwing it, here's the song, here's the ideas.
Yeah.
Do whatever you're hearing as kind of the starting point.
Yeah, and
I
that's
kind of started, and then I was like, hang on, what do they want?
yeah.
And then and I think Ben, you even say like, I think they want something 70s.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, so those like cheesy late 70s with like the string section is not necessarily an A prime string section, but they can play and they get the vibe. And so that was the original idea. But then, as always, you bring another brain into a project, and there's new ideas coming in. And the challenge when making a record is to be able to know when you're attached to something for Pavlov level reasons, like you're just used to it, or if are you willing to be surprised by something? What is your original idea? What was it going to be anyway? We didn't know. It's not like I spent hours trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So so Oliver sent us the first revision, and Oliver's a badass. So and so he went all out and gave us like so many ideas and so much stuff going on. And my first reaction, and I think Lewis's too, was like, whoa, that is amazing. That is a lot of amazing. So my first reaction to Oliver on the first arrangement, which we're going to play for you guys, was like, dude, whoa. How about half of that, you know? And a more intimate feel. And basically, there's also the thing that we want to give the instruments, the Spitfire instruments, you know, a good run for their money. And so he did. So maybe what we should do is, Oliver, maybe you could play for people to relocate themselves in the track. Maybe you could play that original arrangement, your first pass, so that you can show people, you know, your badassery, and then we can relate the conversation we had, and then you can show where we at right now, and then maybe we can tweak it live. How's that work?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, so let's hear that first pass. So Oliver,
can you go ahead and can you share your screen first so we can see what you're seeing?
Will do. Yeah.
Awesome. Love the ultra wide.
It's ultra wide.
It's so good.
Do you want me to kind of make it smaller? Is that easier?
No, this is great.
No, keep it wide. I put us in small little boxes across the top so people can see everything that's going on.
This is awesome. So you're just gonna play the print you sent us. So you people are gonna hear exactly what we heard once we press the WeTransfer link that Oliver sent us. Here we go.
Every man needs a nemesis, a desert that he cannot cross. To keep the soul in wonder, the belly must have hunger. He needs the vultures. Every man needs an Everest, a mountain that he cannot climb. The head humble, the hands from trouble. They can't be comfortable. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering will serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Every man needs an element, a fear that he may lose control. To keep the heart sacred, escape the mazes, it must be vulnerable. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering will serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Even though I say I want the best, what I get is so much less. 'Cause my utmost ain't enough to call humanity. And every time I reach the top, my motivation always stops. I go right back to the source of my insanity. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering, you serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering, you serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. curse of every man. That's the curse of every man.
All right.
Yeah, dude,
All
that's
right.
what a score! Like that's the immersiveness of it. It just kind of it sounds so the true to lifeness of those sounds and the performances, like all the rips, like all that sort of stuff is it's really cool.
Yeah. It's wild. It's a wild library.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm so beyond impressed. Like I feel like those kind of sounds can be easy to like hide behind like in like reverb and swells. But what's particularly grabbing to me is like the crisp like when it's out loud, like those trumpets are like it sounds like a section.
Yeah, it's really
yeah,
unbelievably realistic. And maybe later we can look a little bit at, you can show us, Oliver, how you think about it to keep it that realistic. Obviously it's in the sound, but also it's what you did is great. So my first feedback to Oliver, as I said, and Lewis was in Portugal at the time, or I forget where you were, somewhere else.
Portugal.
I was like, I'm pretty positive that Lewis is going to feel the same, because we're very in sync on this track. It's like what this does is it takes away from the closeness of the song, and it's amazing and it's impressive. But instead of having our crescendo thing, now we have this like block of stuff, right? So my first feedback was that I was like, I want a lot of this, but I want a lot less of it. That was my first thing. The second thing was I want to keep the crescendo throughout the song, so I want to keep some energy for the last choruses and stuff I haven't heard to come in on the last choruses to make me feel like, oh, this is new.
Yeah.
That was my second feedback. The third feedback was like on the color things, was that those horns, to me, like that counterpoint with the horns, took away from the pocket of the song. And so that basically any upbeat that wasn't coming out of Lewis's body was not going to feel good. And that my spirit in this, the spirit of the song should be more of a sauce thing than extra meat, more sauce, less meat, and also that it would be more of an arc of things and a horizontal thing, as opposed to something that just, has to gel with Lewis, because part of the miracle of this song is that Lewis played everything.
Yeah.
And so everything feels a certain way, pocket wise, and where everything sits is by design coming out of Lewis's brain. Vocal, everything, it just feels a certain way. And the minute you put somebody else's pocket on there, no matter how good it is, it doesn't feel as good. And so it's nice for me. That was my thing. But there were some things that I loved. I love that the tremolo at the beginning thing, and I loved that line. That felt very 1971. It was very good. And then like the pickup of the second chorus, I loved. That one. So that was my second feedback. I think this is great, but my feedback was like, okay, you do maybe we save that for the second chorus, and maybe we reuse it at the end.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that line, do, do, da, 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 da. And then he changed on the second half of the chorus. To me, it was too much. Like it took away from the thing. So I said, let's make it dumber. Like let's imagine you were not as good an arranger and you didn't have as many ideas.
Quit having so many good ideas, Oliver. God.
Yeah. Let's imagine that you got the call from the producer 3 hours before the session, like it used to be.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have this many players and they're not great. What would you write? How much can you dumb it down and still keep the spirit so that it is sauce?
Yeah. Well, so I'm really curious, Oliver, is your process for coming up with arrangements like this? Are you sitting there? Are you doing it the old school way of kind of writing things out and transcribing and then overlaying on it, or do you play it in how do you come up with something that sounds this elaborate and this good?
Um, I'm flattered, guys. Thanks a lot. But I think half of it is definitely, or more than half of it is the samples, which are just sounding absolutely amazing. It's all recorded in the same space, Air Studios in London. Best players, best engineers, best equipment, best everything. So it's going to sound kind of good naturally. But I mean, my process, it's actually kind of what you want to call a new school in that sense. I work a lot with the samples and with the sound. So the sound inspires me to do things. But then also, because my main instrument is piano, I actually sat on the piano listening to the track, first figuring out the chords. So I can kind of jam along, and because I'm very like an intuitive kind of writer or arranger in that sense. I was actually playing piano or Wurlitzer actually to the track, and that's where kind of first kind of hooks and riffs came to mind. And then obviously I would tweak them a little bit to make it more idiomatic to the instrument, to not make, that's kind of what you hear a lot sometimes when people write with samples. It sounds like a piano.
Yeah.
Like chords moving like as if you play a chord. So you have to kind of consider that if you write it on the piano or the Wurlitzer. So,
so you can transform from this like very vertical feeling thing to a much more linear. Like a violin player can only play basically a note at a time, so you have to think like a violin player in that sense, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I have my arrangements in my head, but then I start dividing it to the different colors of the instrument, which is the woodwinds, the brass, and the strings.
And so do you play it in, or do you pencil it in?
I play it in. I play everything in. Most, especially in a song like that, I kind of leave it when I play it in. So it feels, or I try to, as you talk about the pockets, I try to get the feel of the pocket. And then, if you then quantize it, you kind of destroy that kind of feel.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess a little advert here for Luna, but the latency is pretty much zero. So it's the playing it in live is it's just fantastic,
That is really a total game changer. To have no latency on VIs, especially elaborate, complicated, high-level VIs like this that have a lot of girth, is really, really changes the vibe. So after this first salvo of feedback, which I must say Oliver took very, very well. So he went back and did it again. And so what we have right now, Oliver, is the session of the last arrangement you sent us, right? And it's live. This is our MIDI chunks, and they are triggering the stuff. So would you like maybe go to the first chorus and maybe solo the strings and show us a little bit how it works and show us the instrument a little bit, because I don't know this very well, so I'm going to learn something, which is pretty awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, let me just... should we maybe play it... No, okay, you kind of heard it. So the chorus sounds pretty much the same.
I want to save the full thing. So once we know what it is, that people can hear it once they know what it is. So hearing it in solo is going to be great.
Cool. So let's have a listen to just the strings in that case, because they carry the heavy load, I guess, of the arrangement.
Yeah.
No, hang on. Is that... No, that's not the first chorus. Sorry. That's
okay.
The first chorus. Here it comes.
Ooh.
So... as you can hear, it's there's a lot of it's either playing the same voice, so it's not actually very complicated, and I think it needs to be like that within, let's say this is a pop song, R&B, I guess. I don't want to put the genre on it, but within a song, so it needs to sit nicely behind, and I want to just mainly highlight this kind of line that's basically the first violin plays.
And then we asked Oliver to take it down the octave for the first chorus and the second chorus.
Yeah, exactly. So this is now taken down. So it was just toned down a little bit. Everything just a bit more. I guess it makes it more intimate if the first violin is not really screaming.
I'm very curious to hear that soloed, actually. Uh-huh. What's going on there?
So there's you need to tweak a little bit and program a little bit your MIDI information. So you have modulation, which is the dynamics, which is when we record the samples, we don't only just record in one volume or one dynamic. It's not just the player plays mezzo forte and then when you need to play it loud, you turn up the volume or you turn it down. They play with different bow intensity. So when they play piano, the tone is much different of a violin than when they play with fortissimo. So with this programming here, you address this dynamic. So if I just play a little bit, you have like the dynamics is like your mod wheel on a keyboard, or you can also get like separate controllers. These are like called CC controllers. So
that's badass. Awesome.
So you can hear it's a different. It's actually crossfades between different recordings in that case. So that the tone is slightly different, and then the expression is actually the volume. So you can hear the difference. So let's say the dynamics here. Right, you hear that is just the volume of the instrument. You can also automate it, like I've done it here a little bit. So you helped kind of the overall feel of the performance, but the expression is essentially just the volume of the instrument. So if you have here, the modulation is much more programmed here, right? You have
wow.
Hang on.
Oh, I see.
The big long ramp up into it, yeah.
So that's not a crescendo, that's actually an intensity thing. That's awesome.
Exactly, okay. Yeah. And then the crescendo, you help maybe a little bit with the expression as well. And then vibrato is very important, especially if you have solo lines or top lines of strings. So I've programmed that here as well. So if I just play this notes again, you can hear no vibrato. Oh, hang on, I need to be out of here. Right, so you have either straight notes or the player does a little bit of a vibrato. So
that is absolutely fierce. Yeah.
If you add the vibrato, that it's gonna give much more expressiveness to it.
So I'm curious. Are you when you're playing these lines in? Are you doing all these modulations while you're playing, or do you kind of focus on one thing and then the other?
I usually have my two fingers on the expression and dynamics control. So when I play it in, I go da da yeah, and I push it up while I play, and then I would go in here and fix a little bit, and then obviously it's actually already early stages of mixing, because when you write all of this, you want the section to sound balanced. Maybe I gave a little bit of too much dynamic in the violin in a certain section. Once I finish the arrangements, I take it back down, etc. So it's very important that you do that to help the realism, I guess, and the balance of the orchestra.
Oh, absolutely.
For the I'm sure there's guys in the chat who are gonna say, Fab's never seen this before. I'm like, no, dude, I've never seen this before because I have the great luxury of usually working with real players. Like I haven't used a synthetic orchestra in 10 years. So this is awesome. This is really great.
I mean, if you have the budget, obviously, we always say sampled music kind of can make you sad, but real players make you cry. So I'm fully aware of my unbelievable privilege, but this is really awesome, and also this can be treated in way different ways. Like the creative capabilities of this is wild. Totally. It's a sound. Like you can also treat it like a synth or something else. You can put tremolo and distortion on it. There's no rules. It's music.
I'm already thinking of things, unnatural things. One
of the other things I noticed that you're doing here, Oliver, is that so you have 3 tracks of violin ones. Are they all kind of doing slightly different things, or how do these split apart?
Well, this is my personal workflow. I have each articulation on a separate track. For my kind of brain, I can see much better what's going on in my arrangements. Like I can see here, I'm using shorts. By the way, this is just a little trick. I have like shorter notes here, so I enhance them with actually a short articulation. So this first violin just shorts.
So a little punchier, a little bit more, a little crispier notes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's actually called spiccato. So you have staccato, which is a soft short, I guess, and then you have spiccato, which is a crispier short. And I line this up together with my longs just to give a little bit of punch there.
Mm-hmm.
And then here on this line as well. So, and then I combine this, all these tracks together. Here I just have a copy of something long. I might have just left it in there. But yeah, I like to have each articulation on a separate track. Sometimes actually in mixing, because you might apply different amounts of reverb to shorts or long notes.
Yeah.
So which then it makes it much easier to apply it. You know, if you have the shorts and longs on the same track, then you know, you can't apply different amounts of reverb, or just you have to automate it.
And so some composers, they'll do, because in the instruments you can actually key switch between these articulations if you want to. So this is kind of a workflow thing, and I honestly I really love your workflow for this because it's so clear and easy to keep track of what's doing what. But yeah, it kind of gives you that option to do either way, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, key switching is great. You know, the one downside with key switching is if you share sessions with other people, because they might have other keyboards, other ranges, and then all of a sudden their key switch range comes into your lower octave, etc., and it kind of messes with your MIDI, MIDI arrangement. But yeah, so this I just like it that way.
Yeah, this definitely feels like the safer way. And again, like when you deliver these stems, it's gonna, you know, Fab will be able to clearly see, oh, these are gonna be short violin notes. These are second violins, short second violins, harmonics. Like,
I mean, I'd like to keep the MIDI. I want to get the MIDI, if that's okay, with all the powers that be.
Absolutely.
And then this is going to turn into a Luna session, I believe. So it'd be nice if everybody could have the MIDI.
Of course, yeah, of course.
And then do their own version of the arrangement. So this is really interesting. Can we hear the horns?
Horns are only coming in the last chorus now.
Yes, yeah. Because you got censored by some
yeah, someone sacked them out of the first choruses.
Yes, yeah. Well, there were union rates. We couldn't afford them.
All right.
Too expensive.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Here they are in the last chorus.
Horns. Cool. Wow, that is really.
Dude, you know, having been very fortunate to do one session at Air Studios, I can confidently say that it sounds familiar. It sounds like that room. It's really crazy how like that the essence of that of Lyndhurst Hall comes through on these.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's wild. It really sounds like that. And great. And let's hear the Woodwinds too, because I love, especially on the second verse, is so dope.
Barry White move. Did we call it the Barry White?
Yeah, it's the Barry White move. It is 100% Barry White move.
What technically is the Barry White move?
Flutes, baby, flutes. That's what I'm talking about. I got nothing but love for flutes.
I've only figured out the horizontal zooming quite late. I only knew how to, which is quite annoying, but eventually I did, and it's quite easy actually. Cool key commands.
Which one are for the people at home? What are those, Oliver?
Control Option, and then you just wiggle your mouse.
Scroll up and down.
Scroll up and down.
So it's all Pro Tools key command. Command bracket works too. It's great.
Cool.
To not have to think about that stuff. Of course, if you come from Logic, you have to think about it.
I use Pro Tools here and there as well, and actually I have to say it's kind of it's a bit of a mix of everything, so it's quite intuitive. It's like, oh, maybe it's this, oh, there's that, and it's usually one of those. So
yeah, it works. Cool. Let's hear those Woodwinds.
It's Barry White, here he comes.
Oof. Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude,
I feel like
so beautifully executed.
I feel very distinguished. Very distinguished listening to this. Yeah.
Do you play a wind instrument, Oliver?
No, I only play the piano, basically.
Your intuition as a wind player is
Very good.
quite remarkable.
I'm a saxophone player.
I'm a trombone player.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's
I guess
good.
it's practice, and as I said before, you have to kind of put your head towards what an instrument could do and where is the strength of the instrument.
Right.
Like what range, what does it do well, etc. So kind of
Cool.
giving it the right voices, and it makes it sound much better, I think.
Right,
Yeah,
because like if you shoot way above and beyond, if you get these unrealistic sounds, or even like the octave that you choose to do an instrument in really changes how it can be the same notes an octave up or an octave down, totally change the color around it.
How it's perceived. Let's listen to the whole song again with this live arrangement, and then I have some requests, and I'm pretty sure I can tell from Lewis's face that he has some requests too. That's his request face. There you go. Yep, I know that face.
Should we go from very top?
Yes,
Very
because
top,
I want people to hear the art. Maybe they're going to disagree with us. It's possible.
Perfect.
So just to be clear, so everybody knows, this is now the version 2, essentially.
Version 2, yeah. It's what we heard 2 days ago.
Nice.
So here we go. A 1, a 2.
Every man needs a nemesis, a desert that he cannot cross. To keep the soul in wonder, the belly must have hunger. He needs the vultures. And every man needs an Everest, a mountain that he cannot climb. Keep the head humble, the hands from trouble. You can't be comfortable. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering will serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Every man needs an element, a fear that he may lose control.
Woo.
To keep the heart sacred, escape the mazes, he must be vulnerable. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering will serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Even though I say I want the best, what I get is so much less. 'Cause my utmost ain't enough to call humanity. And every time I reach the top, my motivation all but stops. I go right back to the source of my insanity. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering, you serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Happiness of every man.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
that's I love how the density now, like you were mentioning, Fab, like giving it that shape to the overall song, is crescendoing throughout. You know, it's not just a loudness thing; it's happening in the arrangement elements of it.
When you get to the fourth chorus, when the fourth chorus hits, when Lewis starts ad-libbing, that's when that's the apex of the song, and then there's like a little kind of like epilogue after that. This is great. So as I said, yeah, it's awesome. So now we're in the zip code of where the song lives, you know, to bring it down to the street where the song lives, from the zip code to the street. Here are my first reaction to it. The first thing to me is, I think that I censored you too far. So my first feedback to Oliver, and I think Louis agreed, otherwise it wouldn't be this way, is that the line on the chorus, Louis, can you sing the line in the right key? Do, do, di, do, di, do, da, do, da. That line. What was it? It starts on a G, I think. I don't hear you anymore, dude.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to spare you guys.
See, that B, that's a B, right? B. Yeah. That B. So what I told Oliver is like, it was it did that. And to me, that was distracting. But I missed the B. Because basically, I hear and it doesn't resolve. And so a lot of my feedback on this is going to be with resolutions of lines. I feel that we need to resolve that line. So keep the same line, but that lead line we should hear that B. Otherwise, it basically kills the pocket. Am I being clear, Oliver?
I had the same thought with a different way to resolve it, but
okay.
Way, it was like, yes.
No, go for it, dude. What do you have in mind? You have the same issue, right? It basically kills the flow of the thing. And there's a couple other resolutions that I think we need, like the end of the chorus, we need a downbeat, things like that, so that to feel more, for lack of a better word, zen. These upbeat endings, to me, are not in sync with the way Lewis plays. So what would be your solution for this first, for say the first chorus, so we could check it out? Lewis.
My just before you speak, Oliver, I was just gonna say my thought was like the beginning and that middle phrase there. So like, so the line going into the beginning of the chorus is like, and then right now it's dipping. So I feel like
it needs to end on that G.
Maybe once like either an E or something, like, or you know, I mean, maybe I'll leave that to you, but I kind of hear it as like just
it's gotta land.
Just dynamically not dipping so much there, so that you get like yeah,
you know
what I mean,
to connect those lines.
And then the B in the middle there. I think it's for like 3 beats, just like because the melody moves there too. So it'd be like Prince and you know what I mean? So the B would actually hit there on the end of 4 of the second bar of the chorus, and be like a dotted half note, basically.
We are basically telepathically connected at this point. This is unbelievable. This is pretty much exactly what the feedback I had for Oliver is. Basically, to make things more palatable for everyone with less, and basically, because of the motion of the track, when you have a line, we would like it to resolve. So that you really feel that riff, that pickup riff, instead of ending on the end of 4, actually finishes on the downbeat and is connected. So say, for example, if you solo your strings on the pickup of chorus 2, where you are exactly.
Are we talking on all the choruses, basically, then?
Well,
the
there are shadows of those things. Check it out. So just solo your strings there. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just soloing the first violin for now.
That's fine. That's great. Yeah. So say like really like you know.
Oh, okay. So it resolves and then goes up to this other note.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So it would go. Whoops. Where am I? So this happens several times.
Yes, and we can just do a couple ones live, and then if it takes too long, you can do it offline. But
so you want the E there before it goes up to the G here, no?
No, so I'm saying
No,
instead of the G. So like the G is, I mean, if you hear the G more, I mean, I hear it like just basically replacing the G with an E.
Yeah,
exactly.
E.
And just dynamically hitting it a little like less of a
make it like a strong burly downbeat.
Okay, so what I might do then is the trick here that I'm gonna add a short.
Okay.
So you've already brought the long note down to an E, but then you're also giving it a short to punctuate it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, let's see how this
and maybe your expression on the first violin on the long notes, is it expression or is it?
Yes, expression. Yeah, or the possibly the dynamics here.
The dynamics would be like
start higher.
It's not as sforzando. Yeah, voila, boom. Look at that. Amazing.
Painting with strings.
Wow. All right, let's hear that.
Let's see how that sounds.
Yeah. Okay, great.
We might not need that short one here.
You probably don't need the short, or maybe it can be just quiet. And then and then let's add the B. Keep going. Okay.
There you
G, and I think maybe we replace the G with a B.
Yeah, B. Bless you.
Okay.
This is awesome. All right.
Let's see how that is.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So you could do a B there. That second G, replace it by a B.
That's a B.
Sorry, a D.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it not moving. I was actually going to say my thought was like to try.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say it loud. Okay.
You could
just because. So this is what I was saying because the melody is moving there. So it's basically like
yeah. Okay. So can you make it one long note as opposed to repeating?
I think maybe if we make it one long note and like then dynamically we just kind of let it
grow.
I mean. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
And so obviously this is going to be valid for the first chorus. This one is going to be valid for the first chorus too.
Sure.
Oliver can take anything. Look at that. Wow, dude.
Are you using your mouse or do you have like a pen like track thing or?
I use my mouse.
You're just really good with a mouse, bro.
Yeah.
Have you considered a career with MS Paint?
Career change if I wish to later on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the ender on the bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, it's a little too long and there's a clash with the upper note. If you play that 2 beats before where you are right now. Maybe if you delay
I have an idea. Do you have a clear idea, Fab? What do you think?
I don't know. Gotta hear your idea first.
Okay. My thought is so you're going like so right now it's like is that correct? I don't hear like
yes, that's correct.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so my thought is like so you're jumping up to a C But on that same articulation, I think you could like make that a B, and then delete the B. Right now you've got CB. I think if you just nix the B, and no, not the
B.
No, nix the B. That's the C.
What do you want me to do? Sorry,
Erase the B.
Yeah, if you erase the B, and then you bring the C down to a B on that same articulation.
Yeah, voilà.
on the same note.
Voilà.
Right. And then,
the downbeat.
and then my idea is like to add a low octave to it. I don't know if you want to do it in that same voice, whatever, but so that basically the line goes, but it's a B in octaves, like, and then that takes you into like the descending line.
Oh, okay. I
You
got
have it just right, Oliver. You're on. That's it.
Yeah.
I hear.
Okay.
That's great.
And then the note before it, the C sharp, I think it just bothers me individually, but I think in the track it works because it's over an A7.
It's supposed to be a B, right? Isn't it supposed to be a D?
Isn't the A7 there?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's an A7 there, so it totally works. That just sticks out to me when it's by itself.
There's still a C somewhere. There's still something resonating.
It was in the short track.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, guys. Yeah, because I've doubled up. So
Cool. Great.
All
So hear it. Yeah. Yeah, and then
should we go from there or from the?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
Exactly. Great. And then. So let's go to the. Is it possible for you? Is it the same in the first chorus? Can you just copy paste, or did you do like fancy stuff?
No, it's the same. I can copy paste, but I'll have to change all the other.
Yeah.
All the other instruments as well, and I have to kind of do not a new arrangement, but like new voices under.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For this.
So we just made your life really complicated. You're welcome.
No. It's very easy. It's very easy.
Well, it's kind of cool though. By making it that one note on the upbeat, it's now actually punctuating that moment of the chorus more, right? Like that's basically what you guys were going for. Is like instead of it having be this kind of rolling thing, it's now like da da da. So you kind of you're left waiting for the backbeat.
It's gonna work awesome. And that was the same idea, except I have two. I had 16 notes, but it's much better. Your idea is much better. So, and Oliver is like doing his like real-time editing at speed of light.
It's what people came for. They wanted to see how this actually happens.
Yeah, let's hear the whole thing.
It's almost like it's so fast. It's almost like Spitfire.
Yeah, cute. Can we hear the whole chorus? Like, so we have context. That'd be awesome.
Let me just check how this sounds. What I did. Whether this sounds actually all right.
Yeah, that's true.
It kind of works. I might have to change because we've prolonged this.
It's nice. The movement's
this
nice.
Here, but
the F sharp in the bottom. I think it's in the cello or something like on the B there.
On the long note, on here, you mean?
On the articulation that we just changed at the very at the beginning of the descending line.
So you go. Actually, it needs to be that. It needs to be a G. And then the violas needs to be.
I wouldn't mind it being a B if you hear that. If that's not too weird from where it's coming from, I don't know, but.
He's talking at the end. He's talking. Oliver Lewis is talking about the and the last bar. Before the Peter, right?
Oh, okay. Here, did we change? You're talking about this one?
No. I'm talking about.
Sorry.
The one we just.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've changed that now to a G, but it's.
Nice. I was saying, like, can we hear it?
should work.
It's
Sometimes,
clever. Yeah.
Sometimes if you do it with the bass, you get a bit of a better idea.
No, I like it. I hear it. I like it.
It's just the 7 there really low, but it's cool.
Yeah. There's no interval limit there. This is great. Do you want to quickly paste that to the first chorus, or is that not quickly doable?
Quickly.
One more thing.
That's a little nitpick. I'm sorry, Oliver. I'm so sorry.
One more thing. Here's an iPad. No? Okay. Just one more thing.
Just on the bottom of the descending line, the C sharp, is it bothering you? It's a little bit bothering me, like because we're over a C major 7. Da 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 da. I want it to be like it would. I want it to be like either a C natural,
Natural,
or a B.
A B, yeah.
But hang on, where do I have to? On the
Can you
on the descending line?
Can you quote bar numbers, Lewis? Can you see big enough to quote the bar numbers?
I can't. His widescreen is like.
I think it's a bar beat 4 of bar 45.
Okay, descending. Oh, okay, here. Literally the last one. No.
In the low voice, in like the cello. Or whatever you got it. Voice says.
Hit it. Let's hear it.
Because right now it's going da 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 D C sharp. No. In the descending line.
Beginning of 45.
Beginning of it's bar 44. Sorry, my bad. Because it's also
okay.
very widescreen here.
The widescreen I can't zoom in. So
bar 44, Oliver.
Okay.
Hit it.
So
pick it up.
That one.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
The final short cello note.
Into cellos. Yeah, it should be a C natural.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Correct. I would make it either a C or a B. Yeah.
Let's hear that.
Let me check what I have in the violas. F sharp. So 13. D.
How's everybody withstanding this amount of nerdiness in the chat?
There's so much love for the arrangement. There's people picking up on the Curtis Mayfield vibes. A lot of George Martin. Everyone's really getting Sir George Martin vibes on it too.
I think Oliver was actually said that he was going for a Curtis Mayfield vibe. So score.
Nailed it. Someone's suggesting that we add a few more weeks and do a gospel choir in the chorus.
we could do 200 tracks of Lewis.
But overall, everyone's picking up on the 70s, the 70s vibe, and everyone's definitely feeling what you guys are feeling in terms of transforming it from being this big orchestral thing to something that's a lot more intimate and about the song. A few people are missing the beginning, the first verse, like synth pad swells and some of those little moments. Oh, okay. Yep. Understood.
The night is young in Madrid. Oliver doesn't have to go to dinner till 1 a.m. So,
dude. By the way, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for my OCD, but thank you for bearing with me and being so open, Oliver.
All good, man. All good. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so
that's cool. It's cool to see this process. Like this is the part of the arranger, producer, artist. These sorts of conversations typically just happen in a room and no one gets to see how the level of detail and small touches that things like this need to really be perfection.
It happens on every arrangement at every level. Like when we were doing the Two Door Cinema Club at Air Lyndhurst, they were score notes, even though this was $800 trillion an hour with 60 people. They were stuff was scribbled on the score throughout. It happens. That's the way. That's the process. This is actually much faster, and we're much closer than most scores that get through. The first pass is always a fascinating moment because the first pass Let's not forget this. For a traditional arranger who's going to write on paper, the first pass is the first time he hears it. Can you imagine that? So the first pass is like when we did the Magda's record. Magda is a really wonderful arranger who's also in Spain, and she's a great writer, and she tends to write really complicated stuff, and I try to limit that. I was like, but she just has all these ideas and she writes all that stuff down, and she doesn't do MIDI. She doesn't do MIDI mockups really well. She's got the finale. She does the finale mockup, which really sounds like 1998, general MIDI kind of stuff. So it doesn't really hear it. The first pass we do it, it really sounds like somebody's puking in the speakers. It's just like, blah, 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 and then an hour later, it's like, this gorgeous thing. So this process this is like very, very fast and great. So maybe would it be putting you on the spot if we could have you copy this stuff to the first chorus?
The reason why I don't want to copy it is because here the programming is different. The programming is different in the first one because the intensity is lower. I mean,
that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. So my other feedback. So basically, there are other places in the arrangement where, like for example, if you go at the end of the first chorus, the very end of the first chorus, it's too. If you could just play it, I think it needs to resolve.
And that's the curse of every man.
So I will differ to the artist in this thing, but to me, that in this particular case, actually that's the one that works the best. But for me, I kind of needed an anchor there. What do you feel, Louis? Are you happy with this?
I think, I had the same feeling. My thought would be to let the line be where it goes just before, what is it? And then just like either task it or let that just die, and then bringing the maybe the chord, the stab chords that you use at in the outro of the entire song. Maybe bring that just on the beat there, down an octave.
Yeah, actually, that was my thing, especially at the end.
That's the curse of every man.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, and down an octave. And also, I feel very strongly, and we'll see if Louis agrees, that the pump, the last thing you did at the very, very end is bananas, but I think it should be down the octave. I think that it's a little lyrical there.
You talking about the stab at the very end now?
At the very end, yeah.
I actually had a slightly different thought there.
Oh, hit it.
I just wanted to make a little more of it because they're just like that. I felt like I wanted it to be like exactly the same, but just like each time getting a little louder, so that the very last one is like that is like. So
that's great. But in this octave, or can we start at the lower octave and then maybe go up an octave on the?
I like it.
It's your record. It's your record. I'm just there to slow the process down. That's what I do. I am officially your reducer. That's what I do. I reduce things.
Hey.
Yeah. So So, but I like the idea of having that boom. That's what I'm missing there on the chorus outro 1.
Literally just on the 1. You want like what's the chord?
On the pickup.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the chord. So basically.
And that's the curse of every man.
So taking out the walk down.
Oh, you want to take out? Okay, sorry, I don't understand. So you want to take out?
I didn't actually articulate it very well. I'm sorry, but yeah, my thought was like just taking out the walk down and then just bring the hit in right on that. That's the curse of every man.
Okay, so you go here. I take out the walk down, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's
a little longer. Yeah, and
the hit is on here, no? Right on the last 16th.
Correct.
Cool. What B?
Whoa.
Let me just do this quickly. So.
it sounds so real. It's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. It's like they invested, years and years and millions of dollars into sampling all these and creating these libraries. Like it does show.
Yeah, it sounds good. I remember making a drum library down here. The recording of it was not even 10% of the battle. It's the actual programming behind that sucked, which means I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
So time consuming. It's so complicated.
Mm-hmm.
C5. So I show you something. Okay, that's
Hit it.
cool. So this is quite cool, actually. I didn't show this to you yet. The ensemble patch, which is basically all the strings. So the first violins, second violins, viola and cello and basses on your whole keyboard. It's all kind of nicely mixed for you, and you can just kind of play it with both hands, like.
Oh,
So
That sounds professional.
Yeah, it's
wow.
amazing. Yeah,
And that's
it's
all
really
just
cool.
that's just one patch. So it's going from this like separated thinking just lines to thinking in just one thing here.
So if you just want to play one chord, you don't have to break it down to 7 tracks. You could just
Absolutely, and then you hit like your violins, viola, whatever range it needs to be in automatically. So it helps if you just want to sketch something, or if you just have a little.
and then it blends with the other separate things.
Of course, yeah.
Let's hear that. I want to hear that.
And sometimes here you can see I've actually added a bit of extra ensemble patch just to make it on certain moments kind of dynamically a little bit bigger, like kind of cheating and expanding the orchestra for a moment. And so now
clever.
here I will put the spiccatos
Triple
on each
scale
voice.
for that. Triple scale.
I will put this on each of the shorts, but since we're here live, I think this is just so I don't forget. So I just hit this last kind of chord just there, so I know it needs to be there.
Let's hear it.
Is this what you wanted? Maybe?
And that's the curse of every man.
Yeah, just way louder.
Except I feel like maybe the chord now that it could like either die a little dynamically as it like decrescendos as it
The chord before, yeah.
the chord before the stab, or just be a little shorter maybe.
Yeah.
That's my last nitpick on that. I'll leave that to you. Yeah. Yeah. And no sooner had he said it than
Wow. Cool.
I mean, this is just quick, but I will spend a bit
You're
more time
right.
on it. But
Let's
so
hear
just-
that.
Oh, hang on, that was vibrato. And then the last stab, you want it to be like very audible or just a little?
No, it could.
the level it was at was cool for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
it can exist.
Cool. Let's see.
And that's the curse of every man.
I'll do it a little bit smoother with the track, but
Pick me, pick me.
yeah, yes, Fab, please.
Okay. With all due respect, Your Highness, I think this would benefit from a sforzando. It would benefit from actually. I think it would benefit from that. Could we maybe test that?
I'm with it. I'm with that.
Okay. What Louis doesn't want is doesn't want it to be static, and I think, but with the voila, exactly.
With that.
That little.
What are you, French or something?
Ah, what's your language? I'm from Brooklyn.
Is it Brooklyn accent?
I am from Brooklyn. Born and raised. Yeah, the other Brooklyn.
The other one.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Let's hear how that is.
And that's the curse of every man.
Yeah, I think that's cooler.
Yeah.
I will
That's
I will
cooler.
tweak it a little bit, but it's cooler.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I
nice.
think I agree. Nice
Good.
call. Yeah.
All right, cool. So now, so obviously you know, we're just throwing a crazy load of stuff at you, but there's a couple other resolution things, but I think it'd be interesting right now. I'd like to throw something creative at you. So on the original arrangement, it was too much, but I kind of, to me right now, and Louis may disagree, but it feels that it's a little late for the strings to come in on the chorus only, I mean, the 2 bars before the chorus. And here's why. Not because we miss them, because if we don't know they're going to be there, you don't miss them. They kind of feel like, when they come in, they kind of feel like the guest who shows up late at the party unannounced. You know what I mean? And it's kind of rude. It's like the dude shows up without wine, with 2 friends, and hasn't let you know that he's going to do that. That's the way it feels a little bit. So I was wondering if it would be thinkable to do a little sneaky thing and take that tremolo thing that you had originally at the top and put it back there, and then go tacet for most of the first half of the verse. And then when we hit verse 2, just have a held note that you could program right now. Just a little something that just comes in just very peacefully. But basically have that, unannounced guest go, yo, I'll be back later with friends. And then they come back on verse 2. That's what I was thinking. And the way to announce them is having just that very tasteful thing you had. That guy. Just on the intro, while Louis is not singing. And then do nothing until verse 2, bar 16. 16.
Yeah, okay, we can just try it. I'll just
try
play
it.
it in, and then we'll see.
Great.
Every man needs a nemesis, a desert that he
That is
cannot
money.
cross.
What do you think, Louis? Hot. Okay, great. With an A. So, hey, maybe, how do we... It has to change. It just has to show personality at one point in that intro. Just play it again. Play what you just played. Sorry.
You guys didn't like the disco falls I had in?
No, too early for disco. It's too early. It's not. We're not even at dinner yet. They're awesome.
Man.
They're so good.
Incredible though.
They're beautiful, but that we're not that shiny yet.
right,
Can
all
we
right.
can we hear it again?
From the top.
Yes, please. This is great. Here, I think at bar a beat of 3 or bar 4, it could it could go somewhere like that. What do you suggest, Louis? Just to show personality, like girth. Beat, I think it's beat 3 or beat 4 or bar 4. No, I was hearing that. Yeah, just an A. But let's see what Louis says.
God, I'm sorry. You couldn't hear any of that I was just saying.
No,
Nope,
but
none
it
of it.
looked great. It looked really awesome.
You looked amazing.
See, that whole, if you don't make it music business, you should do mime. Mime. I think mime would do well for you. This is great. Yeah, do the wall. Do the wall. Yeah, great. You were saying?
God, come with me.
You hang out with the wrong people, dude.
I was saying, I think it could be like, so from the intro, it's like, E, G, G, E. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Okay.
I just hear like a light. I mean, I hear what you're saying, going for personality, but maybe it's like not so.
Can I hear just this just before we nix it, just so I have had something that experience in my life?
Say it again.
Oliver just put in the stuff I asked. Let's just listen to it once.
Oh! I'm sorry. You guys were
Oh no.
Wrong spot?
No, yeah, too early. Way too early, so I lied. Can you zoom in?
Where would you like it?
Can you play it again? I'll tell you.
Like a bar
later. So I can't see anything on this screen. Keep going. Okay, end of 4. End of 4 or beat bar 5. To the right. 4 more beats.
So end of 5.
Voila, but end of 4th, the last 8th note of bar 5. Sorry. Here they say anda, which is not the and it's the and It's really, on the end of 4. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm just gonna play you what I understood.
Go for it. Yeah. Okay, so fix one 16th note less to the right. One more 16th notes.
Okay.
And just play just there, please.
Every man needs a nemesis.
Yeah. But then if we do that, now he needs something else. So what was your idea? If we do that, then he has to go back to the B on the last 16th note of bar 6. But Lewis.
I mean, I have a simple. Right, I have a simple version and a less simple version.
Let's start with the simple one.
The simple one would be just like move. It would be. I can't see what bar that is. One.
You start singing on bar 8. You start singing on bar 8, and the note starts on bar 2. So there's a 6-bar run.
Okay. So beat 1 of the song is on bar 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of actually feel like maybe like a figure like D 5 go or
that's great. Yeah, can we tie it to an existing pattern though? Can we tie it to something we're going to hear later?
Yeah,
because that's a new melody. But what if we tie it to something that's later in the song?
Yes,
please. That's a bit much. Or something like that.
I don't know.
It's coming.
What if we did so if we did 2, 3 oh, this is not in tune.
Details.
That would have been so smooth.
I know, right? Just my luck. So if we did.
Yeah, let's do that.
Ooh, that's a lot, but I mean,
it's just quoting the line of that goes into the chorus.
How about
it's
we
the
just take
exact same line that go ahead.
Yeah, we take Louis' idea, we divide it by 2. Da, 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 da. Instead of da, 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 say da, 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 or something simple without
Well,
the.
I mean, I think, but the point is like to bring quote something in that
Yeah.
we're doing later, right?
Yeah,
In
exactly.
which case, I feel like it could justify that kind of
Absolutely.
thing,
Yeah, try it.
which is just what's that?
Isn't that gonna be a bit much?
Let's see.
Maybe.
So you want it?
Let's
You want to
find out.
actually? You actually want that line, the chorus pickup line, basically.
Yeah.
Right, but in a different place in the bar. So it happens in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Every man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
One,
That's
two,
gonna
three,
rock.
4, 2, 2, 3, 4.
3, 2, 3, 4. There.
1, 2. On the 2, you want it basically.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, of the fourth measure, it would be on
Which
the,
is bar 5 on your thing because you know we like to have pickups, so we don't start on down.
Except bring it over to the right.
16th note to the right. Right?
I think it's a quarter note to the right.
You see?
Hang on. And you want it on the high octave as well.
It should start on 2E and a. It should be 1, 2 and a 3E and a E and a
2.
He doesn't speak E and we need
Oh,
we need to
Yeah,
speak.
I do speak E ending.
Okay, great. It's such a weird language. I showed up here and it's like, you want what? E and the what? On the end of what? Yeah, it's at the end of the bar. No, end of the bar.
End of 2.
I was like writing big band charts, and her Pomeroy was like, it should be on the E and the, and I'm like, where? Those were the days.
Okay, so we want it on the 2.
The end of 2 of
End of 2. The
Yeah.
second 8 notes of 2.
To end, we want it.
Yeah, voilà, 2 end. Oh my God.
So easy to keep track of.
Yeah.
So we want it here. Okay.
Let's
And
see.
then you have, hang on, then you have 2 more bars of this.
And then you had a whole,
Yeah.
and then hold in the
Just a whole note. 2, 2.
And then we
No.
hold.
1/16 off still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
still
off.
off.
It should be 1, 2 and.
It's on the E.
Oh, gotcha. It's not. It's on the E at the moment.
Yeah.
I think I'm hugely. I am hugely confused of the 2 E and the.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Hey, it's human. It's the language that's not human. All right, here we go.
Okay, and then we want to hold the tremolo back on the wherever it lands.
On
Yeah.
the E.
Ba-da-da. Yeah.
On the E.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. And then
Okay, let's-
let's hear that to make sure we're in the right place.
Ooh.
Every man needs a nemesis.
Somebody
what I
has a
mean?
mic open. Yeah, this is great. So then we're gonna leave Oliver alone so he can arrange that to his liking. I don't know about make it nice and stealth, right? Imagine like somebody just creeping in. The vibe is great with that tremolo at the top, and then somebody's just like it's kind of like a leaving their business card. They'll be back later kind of vibe.
I could imagine having the high trem going, and then
And then-
maybe just on the second violin or the viola coming
Yeah,
in and doing
yeah, that's
that.
great. That's great. And then play from there.
Verse 1.
Verse 1, yes, please.
Man needs a nemesis, a desert that he cannot cross. To keep the
Yeah.
soul in wonder, the belly must have hunger. He needs the vultures. And Every man needs
Here,
an Everest.
bring it back. Bring it back here on that downbeat. And then somehow elegantly and seamlessly blend it with what we already have in this verse. Can we hear it? Just you playing live. If you bring it back in here.
And wonder. And every man needs an Everest, a mountain that he cannot climb.
Here we go.
To keep the head humble, the hands from trouble. You can't be comfortable.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
and now it's the sauce is, it's lié, as we said. There's like a link between all these sauces. How do you feel
Sure.
about this, Luis Cato? Unmute
Wait.
yourself, por favor. Unmute yourself, por favor. I'm practicing my Spanish. Go ahead.
Sorry, it was my fault. Ben had to mute me because I forgot. Sorry.
It's all good.
I think once it comes to fruition, it'll be great.
Yeah. So, you felt it just right, Oliver. It should change chord on that, at that moment, the moment you felt. It's just there's a little bit of a pickle there to connect that with what you already have, but I have no fear that you will be able to do that.
Let me have a little play offline, I guess. But I think, I feel there on the C major is where it needs to kind of
Yes.
start
Absolutely.
driving a little bit.
Yes.
And then
yes.
I forgot the chord. What's afterwards between
It's
C major?
B minor 7.
Yeah.
And then it's a B major 7, no?
No, minor 7. So it's a no. So it goes C major 7, then B minor 7, then a D major for like beat 4, just for one beat. So it'd be D E minor 7 for bar,
okay, E minor,
and then B dominant.
B dominant.
7.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I think this really ties it really neatly. It feels great. And so basically the principles, Oliver, that the one thing to drive this home is to make sure that maybe you could solo the whole arrangement, just the arrangement and the bass, arrangement, bass, and vocals, just those three things. And then we could like flag the little points where we feel that there's a resolution issue, and everything else for me is peachy. There's one chord I'd like to scrutinize with Lewis on the line, which is the very, very last chord. But let's start from the top with just vocals, strings, and bass, so we can hear the song. And I think that would be awesome. Is everybody still?
It's gonna be really cool to hear, actually, too. To hear it kind of pulled apart like this, and just hear the vocals and the arrangement work together.
Is everybody still with us in the chat when we are? Okay, great. Making sure we don't bore people to tears.
There was a good recommendation of moving bar 1, which is fairly easy to do in Luna.
Yes, well, I'm still scarred from Pro Tools, which if you do anything with a roller, you're in chaos. So yeah, we'll have to move bar 1 when we grow up.
It's fine.
You can have negative bars here. It's cool.
Wow.
All right, can't wait to hear this. This is gonna be great.
Cool. Let's go.
And I may stop you rudely, but just for a good cause.
That's what he does.
Oof, this is so sexy. Woo!
Every man needs a nemesis, a desert that he cannot cross. To keep the soul in wonder, the belly must have hunger. He needs the vultures. And every man needs an Everest, a mountain that he cannot climb. To keep the head humble, the hands from trouble. He can't be comfortable. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering to serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Every man needs an element. A fear that he may lose control. To keep the heart sacred, escape the mazes, he must be vulnerable. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering is serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. And that's the curse of every man. Even though I say I want the best, what I get is so much less. 'Cause my utmost ain't enough to call humanity. And every time I reach the top, my motivation all but stops. And I go right back to the source of my insanity. Happiness has left her footprints in the sand. Suffering, you serve a purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. Ooh, pins in the sand. Purpose that I'm yet to understand. That's the curse of every man. That's the curse of every man. That's the curse of every man.
That is awesome. So obviously, all the end of the choruses will have the stab, pimp, pit up, right? And then we'll have the B in the middle and the hell note, so that we basically all that stuff is going to carry over. But everybody understood that. My question is, can you play from bar 70, por favor?
That's the curse of every man.
So bar 72, can you zoom in a little bit, please?
Whoops.
I think there's something needs to resolve there. Let's hear it again. The same, please. Oof.
That's the curse of every man.
On big 3 of bar 71, Lewis, how do you feel about this? Don't you think you should resolve that tension?
I feel like it could just be an inversion move.
Yeah.
So right now it's a C major triad, like in like second version or something. So we go like da da da.
Yeah. Something needs to
It's
move there.
still like, you know what I mean? It could still be this, just going from second inversion to first inversion on beat 3.
Mhm.
I think that might accomplish it.
Yeah, I think it will give us the energy we need there. The rest is really fantastic. It's really nice to hear it like that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And
to
then
hear it
also the growing stabs at the end too.
Yeah.
I think
It's great. When I mix it, I'm gonna make that pickup of chorus 4. I'm just gonna make it like swell into it. So it's gonna be awesome. So I'm sorry, Oliver. We're just in our own world here. You cool?
Fine, that's fine.
So beat 3 of bar 71. Something needs to come down. Something needs to shift color. So the inversion idea is great. I would not have thought of that. So I love that.
I wonder. Okay, so.
Or maybe you could do something with the horns there. Maybe the strings change inversion and the horns, or the flutes or something, But give us
I think changing the inversion in the strings is good, because I had faded out like the horns and the the winds. I mean, if you want, I can bring them back.
No. Let's try it
slowly.
I like the inversion idea because it's discreet but very efficient.
Okay, sorry. So we are in.
So for those of you who don't know what changing an inversion is like if you're playing a C triad and it's going to C, E, G, basically playing right now, maybe we have a C on top. Make sure that the G is on top for that second bar to create movement without changing the harmony. That's what changing inversion would be. So instead of playing E, G, C, you would play C, E, G. And then it would create movement, but not have to change the chord.
It's clever little trick to make it sound like you're changing the chord without actually having to change the chord.
Exactly.
That's kind of a big rule of arranging and orchestration, I think, so you can bring movement.
So
I mean, we could.
That sounds very interesting. I like that idea right there that you just played. That should do a good deal of the trick right there.
So then we need to change here because we have an E already. So we go, for example, we go down.
Look at that.
See, sorry, what did I have here?
Yeah.
CD, yeah. So now we do it. Violas. But aren't we on? Is this A minor here? No.
Correct. It's A minor. It's A minor 7, so it works.
Okay. So we could do. So see, now it would come in handy if you could see all the voices.
Yes.
You can shift it much easier.
So that's the kind of the one downside of working across multiple tracks, right? Is that at the moment you can only really focus on the notes of one at a time, as opposed to having them all laid on top of each other.
Unless if you work with the ensemble patch, then you could do it all in the ensemble patch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Which seems like that might be a really good workflow suggestion for people, right? Is like kind of sketching out on an ensemble track, getting your ideas down, and which you kind of did earlier on in the set, back in that intro area where we were working on, like. Just pull into the ensemble, come up with the idea real quick, and then, when you have time to focus and kind of split it apart, then break it out into the multiple parts.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, let's
hear. Yeah.
Curse of every man. That's the curse of every man.
It works. I have to change the steps here then.
It's just what I wanted for Christmas. So this is great. I think that there were other. So once you tighten the resolutions and the stabs on the last beat of every chorus, I think this is going to be just perfect. It's going to be just the right vibe. Great. I think we've addressed. I mean, all my creative thing are addressed right now. I'm delighted. I think this is great. This is going to sound absolutely fantastic. Louis, do you have anything else?
It's a slow clap.
We're good. So, Oliver, do you think, it's like, I love how you do those swells and stuff like that. So, give me that and I will follow your cue at the mix. I will make sure that I respect your vision on that as much as I can. I have a question for you. I saw in the little before we how long have we been doing this? What time is it?
It's 11:40 for me.
Wow. Well, that flew. So
almost 2 hours.
This is crazy. That completely flew by. There's a release control in the plugin. What's that for? I see. Can you bring up the long violins, for example? What's that release at the bottom there?
Oh, so it's changing the length of the sample when the sample ends. So if you have a longer release, you probably hear more of like maybe the player finishing the note and finishing kind of with the instrument, etc. If you have, if you have the release very long. If you have it very short, it's just when the note finishes, it abruptly ends.
And I have control over that.
Yes, yeah.
That is a very dangerous thing. I love it.
I think it's cool. Actually, I would probably have to release up a little bit more in general.
It depends. You never know what might happen. This is great. I love it. I'm going to play with this.
Yeah, well, it's been funny. There's people in the chat all along that have been picking. A few of them have picked up the Spitfire instruments in the last couple of months. We're just talking about how great they sound, how much fun they are to use.
What I like is you don't have to
be right behind you.
Yeah, I really like that you don't have to think about sample libraries. It's an instrument. I really dig that. That feels really good because you have contact, and you can everybody has Contact, and then there's all those libraries, but it doesn't feel the same. This really feels like dedicated, kind of like having the orchestra already contracted, hired, and in the chairs. It's nice. I think this. I'm going to look into it.
Well, I'd love to, Oliver. So, having done, I think this was kind of your first real big arrangement project inside of Luna. Were there any workflow tips and tricks that you can share with people about, working with Spitfire and MIDI and everything inside of Luna?
I mean, it's kind of a lot of things that we addressed here. I mean, I had a great session with you where you shared some tips and tricks. All the zooming stuff is just hugely important for kind of MIDI arrangement.
Yeah.
It's just pressing E to kind of zoom in and pressing E to zoom out again. And then here the holding control and scrolling, which just vertically zooms the individual track.
Yeah.
The control and Alt, it zooms all the tracks. Actually, if you only hold control and you have, like, for example, all the strings selected or part of the strings, then it zooms exactly those. So that is hugely useful. And then the same as Pro Tools, you can zoom like this as well. RNT is the same, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That is actually very handy as well.
I have a question. What controllers did you assign to Expression and to the other one?
I use a Korg Nano Control. Let me see if I can show it to you. Take this off on my studio. So it's a controller here. It's called Nano Control 2 Korg.
Oh, there we go. Now we can see it.
It's actually a what's it called? Like a surface controller. You control the different tracks, right? For example, in Logic. But in Logic, you have to kind of disconnect it and then use it. Actually, having said that, with Luna, it just worked. So.
That's awesome. And so you were able to map. So you basically map those MIDI CCs to individual faders, and now you have.
Exactly. So when I play with one hand, I can't because I'm holding the camera. But one hand I'm playing, and then the other at the same time I'm wiggling here. And then if you watch the screen,
that's dope. That is really dope. Okay.
Are moving.
Korg Nano thing. Okay.
And 1/2 vibrato as well. So I either program the vibrato or I listen back and re-record, and I turn on MIDI merge, and then I record my vibrato kind of programming.
Great.
Gotcha. So do you find are you kind of switching in and out of MIDI merge often, or do you kind of just always leave it in merge?
Most of the time it's in merge, actually. I find myself, and I mean, just in general, everything it seems very intuitive. I have to say, I've tried, because working for Spitfire, we try to do tutorials in different DAWs and stuff, and not because we're on this channel, but Luna is actually just. It's very hands-on because it mixes from loads of different platforms. It seems it mixes the things. And as I said before, it's like, oh, where is this? Or what's the key command? I think in Cubase it's this. Or and you try a couple, and it's always intuitive. And one of them will always work somehow. It's cool. It's good. Yeah. And what I love actually is here, that is very important. That it gets your
being able to get there.
Up here.
Being able to program the modulations.
Absolutely, yeah. And then when you click here, you get your velocity programming, modulation, expression, etc. So just the MIDI programming is actually very, very straightforward and visible in that sense.
Yeah, it works great. And also the fact, as we said at the beginning, is like you put your instrument on, you put a track in record, and you hit your keyboard, and boom, there's music. There's no latency. That's really, for me, like totally. big draw.
And I mean, even just, loading up patches, like a whole ensemble patch, like it's there, like boom, And there's a lot of sample that has to load, in like, for example, an ensemble patch.
Well, it's super efficient at loading. Curious, I'm really surprised no one in chat's asked this yet, but how much memory do you have in in what computer are you kind of working on for all this?
Just loading up the specs here so you can see. So it's a Mac Pro late 2013. So it's actually not the newest.
It's a trash can.
But it's a trash can, 2013. So
wow.
Expect it up 64 gigabyte RAM.
Nice.
It's strong. It's strong, but there is obviously all the latest iMacs and iMacs Pro are much more powerful. Have much more powerful processor. But it's it
doesn't seem to it seems to be taking all this plus zoom plus audio movers plus all that crap and be totally happy. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's great, awesome.
Nice.
Very nice. Well, Oliver, you're a champ. Sorry
Cool.
for making your life so complicated in real time, but it's for a good cause.
Not at all. Pleasure to be working on it, and wicked track, Luis.
Yeah.
Really cool
Dude,
stuff.
man,
Yeah, this is great.
I'm so psyched. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
It's going to be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, so I think our next stop, unless Ben comes up with like, I would like to arrange this Japanese style with a koto sample. We're going to be able to mix this,
Yeah. Next step is mix.
and that's going to happen in a couple weeks. So we have time for Oliver to finish his thing, and for me to get my computer to start on time. And when all these factors line up, then we'll mix this full mix, no smoke, no mirrors, from start to finish on camera.
Yeah.
And then Ben you'll just update the schedule and let people know when that's going to happen.
Yep, exactly. Should be in the next couple of weeks here. We'll be back mixing on this, and then as we've kind of alluded to, this will also be available as a Luna session. So
Yeah.
I know people have been asking about this since we started this process. Yeah, you guys will be able to share this entire session file with you guys, so you can
And
get in there.
You'll get the raw, and you'll get the mix too. And I'll mix it with all UAD. I'll just do everything UAD, and I'll
Nice.
try and keep it to like the simplest possible amount of set of plugins, so everybody can open the session and have fun.
Yeah, this will be a good. This one especially will take the Ampex and Studer, Neve, like those elements. They're going to add so much to the mix of this, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. I already know what it's going to sound like. I have it in my. I know what I want it to feel like when the beat comes on. So it's going to be awesome.
Amazing. Can't wait.
Cool.
Also, if you have any thoughts about redoing any parts of vocals, Fab, I'm down.
Maybe we have to talk. Have your people come my people.
Awesome. Well, guys, Oliver, especially,
Great
man,
stuff.
dude, thank you so much for walking us through this arrangement, kind of allowing us to see this process in real time of what it takes to collaborate, and all these arrangement tips have been super valuable for folks out there exploring the libraries. If people do want to, learn some more from you, kind of learn more about Spitfire, what's the best place for people to find out more?
Head over to Spitfire.com, check out the Spitfire YouTube channel, the socials, Instagram. Leave your comments on our YouTube videos. We do regular YouTube videos. At the moment, actually, we're doing like a summer series of masterclasses as well. So, and we check them regularly, the comments and stuff. And so if you have any questions, etc., we'll be happy to get back in touch.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I've checked out a couple of those summer school ones there. It's really cool, especially seeing the ones, like scoring to a trailer and again, seeing the process in real time of how that stuff happens is super cool.
Cool, absolutely.
Very nice.
Thanks a lot for having me on the show, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yep. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back on UA Live Thursday and Friday this week. We've got a special big live tracking session with Jakir King. So you guys will not want to miss that, because there's also a little bonus in there for you guys in the chat. We've got some exclusive coupon codes that we're going to be dropping throughout the show. So definitely don't miss that one, Thursday morning and Friday morning at 10 a.m. So I'll catch you guys then. Till then, stay safe, have fun. Catch you guys later.